Folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to work on a beaded tassel necklace using the charms and most of the rest of the beads from our Gone Batty Design Challenge Kit from SoftFlex's company. Now, this is what I'm going to have left after I'm done. Just these 6 porcelain beads, 3 little triangles, 2 of the little things here, and maybe I can make something with these little guys. We'll have to see. But that's what's left if we don't decide to figure out something else to use with those. I might make a leather bracelet, knotted bracelet with the porcelain beads, especially since I have some large hole pearls that would look cute with it. Whatever I decide to do, that's the way it's going to be. So anyway, what I'm going to do is we're going to use both of the remaining bat charms, these 2 guys, to make our beaded tassel with. Now these few beads I have right here, which are all that are left of after I make the necklace of these style of beads, are going to go atop the tassel cap, the bead cap that the tassel is going to fit into before it goes onto the bail for the necklace. So there's those 2 pieces. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to do this in 1 part or 2 parts. We'll have to see how long it takes us to make the necklace portion of it. It really shouldn't take us very long. So I'll probably do the whole thing because I'm going to fast forward through most of the tassel as, let's face it, it's going to be more of the same over and over again. So I'll probably do 2 or 3 of the rows, and then the other 6, because there will be 8 probably, will be fast forwarded. So you can see what I'm going to do, but it won't take up the time. So let's turn down, and I will get the pieces put together, and you can see what I'm going to do. As I said, this, and our little bat are going to go in our tassel, and we'll have to get the seed beads out to put that together. I'm going to use some black seed beads and some yellow seed beads. Now I'm going to put this aside so it doesn't get in our way, and this is the beads we're going to use. Now I have brought in some yellow so that it will pull in the yellow. It's not quite the same yellow. This is more of a maize yellow, but I think it'll work. So that's 4 per side. Here's our bail that our tasseled cap is going to go to. We're going to have half of these on either side here, so that 3, 4, and 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 of these per side here. Of course, our bail will be right in the middle. We've got, should have 4 of these, 1 for either side of the big bead here. And I have some bead caps. Looks like there should be, so these are the double bead caps. I love double bead caps. I think they're so cool. Then we have washer spacers and ball spacers. Now, the washer spacers and the ball spacers are going to be going together with the ball spacer beside the washer spacer, like so. And these 2 seed beads here are going to go inside our bail to keep things from flying around into it. So we also need to divide these up so that we have the same amount on either side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 5, 6 here. 4 more, 4 more, and I have an extra one unless I counted wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Interesting. Oh, nope, there it's not. They're up in there. So, and there's also a couple of our washer spacers up in there. So, 5, 5, 3, and 3. Okay. So there is our division of our beads, and then we got to put them together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, like I say, these are going to go under the bail. Then there's going to be 2 of the round spacers, ball spacers. 2 of the, I'm not taking them from the same side, am I? I just took some from that side and then took some from this side. Yeah, whatever. We're going to just put it in order anyway. So we're going to go like this. Then we're going to take 2 of these, one going either way. Then it's going to be a washer spacer, a ball spacer, washer spacer, ball spacer, on either side, of course. Washer and ball on this side. Okay. Now that we've got that in, we're going to put in the one of the blacks and one of the double bead caps, and then one of the yellow, and then back to the double bead cap and the black again. Same on this side. Come on, you're in my way. Now that we've got that in, what we're going to do now is we're going to get back to the ball spacer and the washer spacer. Do not come with me. I don't want you. And then we're going to go back to this guy. Then it's going to be the washer spacer and the ball spacer again, right here. And then we'll have one more of our yellows. Washer, ball, and then our yellow. This was going to go down here, of course, on these. And then it's going to be a ball spacer, and then one of these rope spacers, and this big guy. And the rope spacer, ball spacer, the yellow one back up here again. And then it's going to be the ball spacer, and then the washer spacer, and the last one of these going this direction. This same thing will go on over here on this side. Then once we get to this area, this spot right here, I'm not sure if you can even see where I'm at right now, we're going to then go back to these guys. So we need to have our washer spacer and our ball spacer, then our black one, our bead, double bead cap, our yellow, double bead cap, black, then the ball spacer, the washer spacer, this guy going this direction, the ball, the washer, the black, and I think it ends at a ball spacer. So I think I took one of these from over here. So then we're going to finish that up just going the same way, the other direction. So let's get some wire out and we'll start stringing this. So I've got the black onyx mediums beading wire from out of the kit. I'm just going to pull a length out of it. Now, I don't think this is going to be as long as I want it, so it's going to end up having a little chain at the end. And that's fine, obviously. So we'll just put that in to keep it from sinking in. We'll go ball spacer, black, whoop, ball spacer, washer, the triangle, facing with the point going this direction. You see, I'm putting the points either side of these going away from them. So then a washer, the ball, black, double. Now we're bringing in that yellow. It's a cube on its side. Then another double, the black, ball spacer, washer spacer, and now we're going to have our triangle facing the opposite direction. Then it's the washer spacer, ball spacer. Then we're going to have our yellow again. Ball spacer, the rope spacer, the good-sized rope spacer, and this cool marble-like bead. I like these. Then, of course, we're going to just go back to the rope spacer, the ball spacer. Come on, baby. All right, you're going to go on this way. The yellow, the ball spacer, the washer spacer. Now this one is pointing towards the big bead. And then it's washer, ball spacer, black, double, yellow, double bead cap. Like I said, I love these double bead caps. They're so cool looking. The black, ball spacer, washer spacer, triangle facing towards the bail, washer spacer, ball spacer. Come on, baby, go on. The 2 black seed beads. These are number 6s, by the way, in case you're interested. The other, now we're going to put the bail on. Now the bail will go over the ball spacer, I'm fairly positive, yes, see, but it won't go over the washer spacer, so it'll float right in there. So then we put this ball spacer on here, on this side, and then the washer spacer, and then we're just going to go up the line just like this, except for we're going to, of course, be going to the other side. So, okay, there we go. There's our strand all done. We'll get another bead stopper for this side. Now, since I don't need this much wire, I'm going to move this up to here and let those all go down there. Bring this here. And we're going to compare, make sure I got everything more or less the same. That looks good. So now we're going to cut the wire off here. And we will measure our necklace piece to see how long it actually is. This can even out a little bit better. So I think it's probably going to be around 16 inches, which means it will need a little chain, at least a few inches. So, yep, 16 it is. So we're going to have to add a few inches of chain. I want it to be at least 20 inches, probably not much longer than that, maybe 22. So we could add like 3 inches of chain on each side. Now I have this chain left over from a different project. This will work. Let's see how much of this we have. The question is, how long is this piece of chain? Is it going to be way longer than I want? It's 8 inches, so that'd be 24 inch total. And I'm not sure I want it that long because our tassel is going to be about so long, so we don't want it to be so long that it's going to be a problem. So I'm thinking that we only want like 3 inches on each side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, this chain is not welded, so I can just take my pliers and open a link. We'll see about 3 inches is right about, oops, come on baby, right here. We'll open this one, and then we're going to count the links and do the other side. So now this is pretty tightly put together, so let's see, is it 3 inches at this one or 3 inches just beyond this one? At this one. So we'll take this one off, put this back together. Now this is a pretty tough chain, and it goes together pretty stiffly, so that's fine. Now we're going to count these links so that we get exactly the same. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 links. So we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're going to take it off right here. And we'll close this baby back up. And then we'll put this few little bits over here. I'll save it for like earrings or something. Now that we've got those two pieces cut here, what we're going to do is we're going to take our crimp tubes and we're going to crimp our necklace back onto this. So let's get a couple of those out. Nope, got 3. Only needed 2. So we'll get our crimping pliers and we'll put our crimp on. Oop, come on, baby, go on. Now, these are the black ones that came with the kit. If you didn't want black, you'd rather have silver, use silver. Nobody says you have to use the ones that came with the kit. And if since everything else is silver, silver would work great. So let's, oops. Now that didn't work very well. We forgot to put the chain in. Not that it would make a big difference because we can open the chain link up, but why bother to do that if we don't want to? So we'll pull this back out, put one length of chain on here, and put her back in. Now you can go through as many beads as you want to. I'm going to just go through to my fire polish here because that's all it really needs. So now I'm going to crimp this baby up. So put our crimp right in the middle of our magical crimpers and squish and turn and squish. And I keep turning and squishing until it doesn't squish anymore. See how it's now pretty much, when I put it in the pliers and put them down, they're pretty much not sinking anymore. Well, they're sink all the way around it instead of needing more space. So now we're going to cut this little bit off of wire. Now, because I've got another bead right beside this here that will, that has a pretty good size hole, the beads are going to slide right over the top of that, so it's not an issue if there's any room. So crimp, and then our chain. And now this is our second side, so we can't just push it through and just, you know, let it go. We have to get this tight enough to cover all the way up. So let's pull her up just a teeny bit more. I think that's about what it looked like over on this side. Yep. So now we'll just push this down some, put our crimping pliers over our crimp, and then squish. Now we're going to turn and squish, and we're going to keep turning and squishing until our crimp doesn't squish down anymore. So that's about right there. Now we will cut our excess wire off. Now if you wanted to, you could have put more chain on here because some people might like it longer. You could have done that. And then because this is a nice big chain, my my lobster claw actually does not need to have another jump ring on that side because it's, you know, good sized. So let's check our lobster claw, make sure it's working good. It is. So now we'll get a medium size of our oval jump rings. Oops, didn't need that many, but I am going to keep 2 out. And why am I keeping 2 out when I'm not going to put one over there? I'm going to put a little pretty on that side. So what I'm going to put over there on the other side is I have a little spider sitting here. See if I can find him. And since this is a Halloween one and we have bats, we're going to have the spider as our pretty. So we'll open this up and grab one side of the chain and put on our lobster claw. Close her up. Now always look at it from the top, because even though the side might look like it's entirely together, every once in a while you will think it's closed all the way, and then you'll look at it from a different angle and realize it's not. That's something I try to be very careful of. So here's our chain. Come on, you. Slide in there. There we go. And our little spider. Now our spider is not double-sided, so, you know, if he swings around, I guess he does. But, so, and that is the reason why I always take my pliers and go across the bend there, or where they come together, so that, because I'm not sure if we've got it closed all the way without doing that. So there's our spider at the end, our lobster claws on the end of this one. We'll hook this together. And there's our necklace portion of our tasseled necklace done. Let's move this up a little bit so our spider hangs down some. So there is what that looks like. Now we have to make the tassel. So the tassel is going to hang down here. And so that's what is next on the agenda. So if we're going to continue on with the tassel today, that's what we're going to do right now. And I think I am going to probably continue on with the tassel because, like I say, I'm going to probably fast forward a great deal of it. So I have got a bead cap. This one will fit usually about 8 strands in it. We've got some little 10-aught seed beads. And we've got what they call a farfel. Now this matches these best of all my seed bead type things. It's a weird little bead. See how it's sort of sideways there? Or it's elongated, the hole in the middle. So I'm thinking this will work as our second color for our beads though. And then I've got a 20 gauge piece of wire. Not very long because you don't need much. I've also got black wildfire. You can use any beading thread, but I prefer the wildfire. It's a good strong thread. And then I've got some big eye beads. So the first thing you want to do is take this and make a tiny eye head pin out of it by just twisting that around and then bending it back over. Now, after you do your bend, make sure that your eye is well closed, because it will try and the threads will try and escape otherwise. So you want to make sure that you've got it pretty tight. So now that we've got that done, what we need to do is cut our thread. And when we get this done, our tassel, it'll go on our bead cap here. Then we'll put these beads on top. Like so. The tassel, of course, will be hanging down here, and then it will hook onto our bail. So let's put these all aside. We don't need those yet. What we do need is some of our beading thread. So we'll get about, now I've heard this called a wingspan before, and that's just taking it from one hand, pulling it all the way across. I know you can't see me doing it, till we go to the other side. Oh, and I'm getting low on black wildfire, but that's the way it goes. And so now we'll cut this thread off of here, and my clippers obviously have a loose spot in them. I mean a hole, because they didn't want to clip this. And we'll put this aside. We shouldn't need any more, but if we do, we can always add some. So the first thing we want to do, now that we've got that done, is we want to take one of these seed beads, and it could be one of these as well. It doesn't matter which one. And you want to give yourself some line like so, and tie this on the end. Now I'm giving myself some line so that I can get this back off somewhat easily, because what this is going to be is a stop bead. And it's going to hold this in place here. But once I get all of my pieces done, why I'm going to take this back off is then this tail, which I've left here, I'm going to knot the tassel, the other end of our tassel, once we get to that point, together here, to hold our bead strands all together. So now the next thing we want to do, of course, is get our needle on. Sometimes that's easier said than done. especially since I sort of seem to have frayed it a little bit probably when I cut that because I didn't get my sharp scissors out. Anyway, what I do is I squish the end of my wildfire so it's sort of flat, and then I string it on my bead. Now these are large hole beads, large eye bead needles that I have here, so it really doesn't make a difference if you flatten it or not, because like I say, they're large hole and you can push them open usually. Oh, come on. See how I just pushed it open with my thumbnail there and then put it on? So then I will pull this thread quite a bit through, because even though I'll want to loosen up later, I don't want this much hanging here. So then we'll go through our eye, make sure our stop bead's going to hold there. It does. And then we got to decide how long we want our tassel to be. So we just, if you don't care if they're uneven, as in different lengths, you can just put whatever you want on one side here. Let's see, how many do I have here? Looks like 10. Nope, it's 12. I'm gonna go with 15, I think. Now, because these are not Miyukis or anything like that, these beads are not going to be consistent size. But I am going to take, I think I'll put on another 5 at least here, because they're a small bead. So let's see what it looks like as far as that's concerned. Okay, then I'm going to put on one of these and a couple of these, and I think maybe 3, because this is a big bead compared to a small one. And then another one of these. Three more of these, and another one of these. Now, to see how long this tassel is going to be at this length, I'm going to put it on, feed the bead cap on, because it's going to go into the bead cap. Now, it won't go all the way into the bead cap once it's, when it's got all the beads on here, because let's face it, the beads are going to take up some of the room themselves. But I still think that's probably long enough. So we'll pull this back off here, and what I'm now going to do is feed on 3 more black, then I'm going to grab my one of my charms here, bring it up here. And the seed beads will probably go through this hole, but they might not. So, but I'm going to put 3 more on. Come on, baby. And now we're going to go and leave those 6 alone, and we're going to go through these beads and go all the way through all of them. Now, if your needle comes out of your strand of beads, that's no big deal. You can just feed back into it. But I think I will probably be getting all of them here. Looks like I did. So then you just take your needle and you pull your threads back up all the way. Now this looks like it didn't go all the way because we have a tail here, as you can see. So we need to get it pulled all the way up here. So there we go. So there is our first strand with our charm. Now what you need to do is get this pulled up good. Make sure she's tight up to your line. Find where you came from and then go through your eye to the other side. And again, we're going to pull it up tight. And now we will start on our second strand. So we had 25 beads here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. So there is our black beads. Now we go with one of the yellow. The 3 black. Next yellow. 3 black. And I do believe we still need one more yellow. Yes. So one more yellow. Oop, where's my third little seed bead here? It's not here, which means it fell off. So we need, oh, nope, there it is. It's on the needle. So one more yellow. And now we're going to do this, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and we could do the same 6 as we used to make our loop, but I'm just going to do 5. And then we're going to swing back around and go and skip these 5. Now you could just skip 1 to do this now. You just need to skip something so that it will hold the beads, because these beads are what's holding these ones in place as you go along. Now, as you can see, my needle keeps coming back out, and I keep putting it back in. And that's just the way it works to do this. Come on, babies, you got to go a little bit more. And there is our beads through. Now let's get our needle all the way through. Now before we had our charm to help us pull these through, and this time we don't. So we just gotta carefully pull our wires, our strings through. Now this one is now too short. It needs to have, I need to get our extra string out, which I just did. We'll pull this back over here some, so we have it back over on this side. Now again, we need to pull these beads up to the top up here. So get them tight, like so. So there is our little end. It made sort of a little flower pattern now, instead of being our charm holder. I must have put extra beads on here because it's short. One is longer than the other, but that's all right. I would have swore I counted 25 here and 25 here, but I must have put 30 or 20, one or the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, there's 20 on the one that has this, and there's 25 on this. So I'll probably make the rest of them without the charms as 25 black, and then when I put the last charm on, I will probably make it the 20 again, so that they're all consistent. So the next step we do is we find which side our wire's coming from here, and we go through that eye again to the other side. So now there's 2 strands on, and we'll keep going like that until we get to the other side. We need five more strands like this one with the 25, and then we'll do the last one with our bat. So we're going to fast forward through the rest of my doing the tassel until we get back up to the bat again. Now I have noticed that I have an extra bead in here. I don't want that extra bead in here. So to take care of that, I'm going to get in here with my pliers, go over the top of that bead, and just squish. And because they are glass, it broke right off. So now I do need to pull my thread up here because I have it poking out the end there. We don't want that. And I also do not have our last 2 beads here, I just noticed. So we need to go in and get those 2. And then I need to shorten my thread up again because we have we're staying inside as we come around. So just pull it up to your needle and bring her up until she's not going through your beads anymore. Okay, now that we've got that up there, we'll go through our eye again to the other side. And this is the one we're going to put our little bat on. So we're only going to do 20 of the little black beads to start with because we want it to match our other charm length here. So we'll do, well, it won't match entirely, like I said, because these are not, Mayukis are Tohos, so they're not consistent size, but still close enough. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm going to compare these to the charm one again, the one that the charm is on. Make sure that those strands are about the same because I didn't want them to be one really long and one really short. And they're about the same, so that's good. So now we want the yellow. 1, 2, 3. Yellow. 1, 2, 3, the third yellow, and then we're going to put on the 1, 2, 3, and then the bat. Now this bat is facing this direction, so we're going to try and get our bat facing the same direction. So, like so. And now we'll put our other 3 seed beads on. 1, 2, 3. And go up the row. Then after we get that on, what we're going to do is we're going to test and see how she's doing in our bead cap. So this wants to come out right here, so I'm going to let it, and then I'm going to just grab the rest of the beads in a second grab. Go and pull it up, and you can see I've got my seed beads all over the place. And one of the ladies said, well, count the beads and then you'll have them, you won't have to do a number of, you can just put them in little piles. No, I'm sort of klutzy, and little piles just aren't going to work, because I will send them just like I did just now. And if I am going to end up with 8 strands, I'm going to need a couple of more of the yellow beads, but we'll see, because we're going to try it into the bead cap right now. So in we go, and we can definitely get the 6 in there, and I think probably a 7th, but I'm not sure about the 8. So we'll do one more strand of our regular 25, 3, 3, 3, or 25 yellow, 3, then the yellow, then the 3, the yellow, and the 3. So there's how our tassel's looking so far. So we'll do one more loop through. Let's see. Did I go through yet? No, I did not. So through the eye, let's see, which side are we on? This side. So through the eye. And do our next strand. Then we'll test again. So 25 again. Oop, what are we doing here? Now I'm going to go back through to the other side where it should be going through to, and that's our tail. Now we're going to see on our bead cap again if we can get another strand, or if we're done at our 7. I think we might be able to get in at the 8th one that I was thinking of doing. Looks like there's a gappy spot right there. So I think we can do one more strand. So again, we're back to the 25. So we'll do that, and we have enough thread, though I am going to release some more. So we need the 25, and I'm going to have to get a couple more of those. 1, Okay, and again go through the eye. Now, since this is our last one, what we want to do is find our stop bead if we can find it. If we can't find it, it might be buried inside there, and if that's the case, it's not that big of a deal because it's going to be inside the bead cap anyway. So come on, let me release this needle off of here. So what we're going to do is take our needle off, bing, stick it aside before you put it away, and then we're just going to take these two threads, the stop thread and the one that we've been knotting with or tying with, and tie some overhand knots. Now I tie 3 or 4 generally. I don't want to take the chance of it coming loose. And if you wanted to, you could put the needle back on, the thread back on the needle and back it down one of the other lines if you want to. I don't think it's necessary. You could also put a dab of glue here. Again, I don't think that's necessary, because I've just tied enough knots here to make a little row of knots, so I don't think we're going to have any problem with our knots. So now we'll just shake these out a little bit, and I need to find my thread zapper and zap this extra thread off. Now if you have some sharp scissors, you can always use that. I personally am going to use my thread zapper because I don't want to have thread ends. Meantime, I'm going to put these back away because I don't want to lose them all over the floor. So there we go. We'll put those aside here. Get the thread zapper out and zap these threads. So here's my thread zapper. So we just want to push this button, get it red hot here. See how it's getting orangey there on the tips? Now we'll just take these threads, being careful not to get any extra thread, and burn them off. And there's our, then we are done with that. So we can flip those away. Now we have our tassel all done, and we want to go onto our bead cap. Push our beads inside there so that we don't have to worry about them coming out. Ta-da! There's our tassel. Now we'll put our beads on. Now I'm putting this one on first because it's a flat rondelle, and I like it, prefer it down here at the bottom. Then we have our spacer and our fire polish. Now we're just going to wrap this baby up, and since I'm not planning on ever taking this off, we will wrap it up and place it directly onto our bail. So let's make sure that we get our tassel more or less so our charms are towards the front. Looks like they're facing 2 different directions. I would have swore I tried to get those so they didn't do that, but anyway, they're going to turn while you're wearing it anyway, I'm sure. So there we go. So we want this to come to this direction. Bring it over. Get our stepped bell making pliers out. Do our loop up and over and around. Bring her down. I'm going to leave a gap because we're going to go right onto the bail and make that lollipop shape. So now we're going to go feed her onto the bail. And now we're going to get our pliers out and wrap this baby up. So grab that where it comes together, get the bail out of it. Take your second pair of pliers. Come on, get out of the way, baby. And wrap this up. Now, remember, you're going to want to wrap your wraps to be pretty tight, unlike normally, because you're pushing that the beads down over our bead cap. So we want to make sure that we have them all the way down and around. So, let's see, this is probably the front, so we'll pull this around to the back and trim this baby off. And tuck her in. There we go. Now I'm going to put my needle away in a second so that it's not going to be in our way, but there is our tassel necklace with our bat and our moon in bat. Now these are going to have to hang up to release so that they'll, you know, relax some, because let's face it, they're pretty tight, so they do need to relax. So we'll hang it up, and then after a bit I'll give it just a little teeny spritz of water and then roll my hands down them to get them to relax more. But there is our tassel, and there is our tassel necklace. So there we go. There is our necklace all finished. We've got our little spider up here on our clasp, and there's our tassel down there at the bottom, and our pretty little tassel and our necklace, beaded necklace up to where the chain's at. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Like I said, I will probably let this hang for a while till the threads relax a little bit, and maybe if they don't relax as well as I'd like them to, give them a little spritz of water to pull, and then even them out some, spread them so that they'll sit nice and flat. Though they're not sitting really bad right now, actually. So there we go. Isn't that pretty? This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we've made this really fun necklace using charms and beads from, and of course our beading wire, from SoftFlex's company's Gone Batty bead mix. So now I did add the spacers myself, because I'd used everything up except for this one crystal spacer we used in here, but all the beads, except for the yellow ones, are from the kit, and I did add the yellow to bring the yellow because of our bat charm down here. And then of course, all the seed beads are from my own stash, but I think it turned out really nice. I like it. And as I said, because this chain is nice and big, you can, if you didn't want it as long as I made it, you could bring it all the way up here and make it quite a bit shorter. So That would make it about 18 inches, I think. Might be 19, but there we go. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.